You know, let's just say I'm certainly not gay. But the point is, nothing against gay people, you know what I mean? The point is that I'm not out to get anybody, ladies and gentlemen. And I think I'm saying, just say I like God's creation on the feminine side. But these people are crazy, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely out of their minds. And they believe they're unhappy because of us. And it is classic projection. And you're looking into their souls and seeing how absolutely desperate and freaked out and crazy they are. And so many times I'd be looking in their eyes, men and women, but mainly women. There was a, quote, women's march. And they would look at me and like kind of freak out and kind of not know what to do. And then they just go, ah, you're evil, you're hateful. And I never played this yesterday. I asked them to cue it up like 5 times. But maybe when we come in, fade down music and play the most bizarre thing you'll ever see. But I saw a lot of this, just total mental illness. This wasn't really good street art because this was so desperate and mentally ill and fallen and disjointed and programmed to fail that this is the spirit. When I was about 10 or 11, I kind of, for a little while, listening to some darker heavy metal, thought the devil might be cool. And my dad one time was like, you think the devil's cool? Let me draw you a picture of the devil. And he drew this picture of this little drooling, weak zombie that was all pathetic and had no power. He said, that's the devil, fallen and weak. And it was so true. And I'll never forget that picture that my dad drew, and now I'm seeing it. I mean, it is just, it's very sad, actually. This is what the devil does to people. Because the devil hates how beautiful we are because we're made in the image of God with a capital G. Your phones, calls coming up. Phones are open. And the start of the next segment, 800-259-9231, 800-259-9231. I was just thinking during the break about how truly amazing and historical and massive the events are happening in this world right now, all over the planet, a human awakening to the globalist technocracy, to the tyrannical world government. It's exciting. They admit their whole plan is collapsing. There are different criminal enterprises, there are monopoly systems that are designed to make us poor. And I've always said this, and the reason I repeat it is not because I'm going, oh, look, I've been proven right. It's because the battle has just begun, but we have the weapons that are unstoppable in this fight. History and justice and honor and prosperity and the truth. The globalists are selling lies and bondage and division and servitude. Why would anybody want to go along with that? There's a private, corporate world government waging war against humanity. And if we simply keep calling it out, it's done. They tried to deny it for 50 years as they built it and as it got more control and sucked more off the people and then got so arrogant and announced a total takeover of everything. And the entire world, including intelligence agencies and militaries, said, we're not going along with this. Mainly because it's anti-prosperity. What type of planetary tyranny are we going to live under when it kills prosperity? They were smart. They would have totally delivered prosperity, then pulled the rug out. That's why you don't want a global government, because you can always get something bad that gets control of it. Bruce Fein was talking about that earlier. You always want firewalls, just like in a ship or in a building, so that if tyranny gets going in one country or one state, it can be contained. You want choices. You want a place to run to, like 50 states. The American system is incredible. I want to get to this report, but if you're a radio listener, this video was posted over the weekend at Infowars.com. I just never got to it. It's one of the most saddening, appalling things you'll ever see. It's one of the more mentally ill protesters, but this was in the extreme. This was in the 90th percentile of insanity. But the 50th percentile, the average, was just howling, you're an effing white male, I'm going to die, kill Trump, Nazis are killing us. I love Islam. I have a clip, Infowars.com. Anti-Trump feminist chant Allah Akbar during protests in Germany. The operating system they've got, because they've been turned into such slaves, they still need a human operating system. And even though Islam, in its orthodox form, is very radical, very primitive, very Stone Age, They worship a patriarchal total control system. That's their man. But he's only letting them off the leash to feel big, and they look back to their pimp, Islam, even though they're not Islamic, and say, look, I'm with the Islamicists. And they go, oh, you bet you are, sweetheart. And the Islamicists, Saudi Arabia, and others got caught, as well as Hamas, funding this event, the so-called Women's March. I mean, who could make that up? Radical feminists that hate males of any type and think that if you have a weenie, you're evil, and that Trump is oppressing women for locker room talk that was edited, but putting women into slavery, they're fine. I would talk to them. They were okay with it. So I'm going to play the Allah Akbar in a minute, but first let's play the deranged, very, very sad person that was out on Inauguration night, Friday, for hours, reportedly, just running around, flopping around the street in total mental illness. Here it is. I mean, I got to narrate this. She's blowing on a flute, a homemade flute, and just flopping around. And again, you see this desperate mental illness, this disjointedness, not even in reality, total psychotic break. And this person's only one step below her other cohorts. But this mentally ill person, like in a lunatic asylum, they tend to feed off each other. She's in the midst of all these other lunatics who are just, oh, did you hear he threw out the bus? Yeah, there was no crowds here. Ha ha, you didn't have a crowd. You know, they were there knowing it was a giant crowd. I was in the airport, and so was my crew, just hearing women everywhere celebrating. Did you see? Did you see? No crowd. I'm flying out Saturday, and I'm like, what is that? And I'm like, oh, I'll get to the bottom of this when I get off the plane in Austin. I get off and walk in and go to InfoWars, and there's articles exposing how they did it. But, I mean, again, they think it's like a game. Like, look, we lie better than you do. And we're like, we want to be credible. That's why people listen to us. It's not who can tell the best lie. We don't even like to make mistakes on accident. They're like, ah, shut up, fake news. And then they're like putting stuff out that I was arrested and thrown out. That's been on NPR. It's been on TV. It's been in a bunch of newspapers. And they show a photo of the police protecting me in July of 2016. I mean, it's next level. I can't even keep track of it. I have family calling, going, wow, does Trump still like you after you got arrested doing a disturbance? Alex, why'd you do a disturbance at the inauguration? At a certain point, you know, you got some cousin on the phone or whatever, and you just go, that's fake news. Well, wait, I saw the police arresting you. And I just said, listen, I got to go. And then my lawyer calls last night. Says, how'd the inauguration go? Did you really get arrested? I said, where'd you see it? He goes, I didn't see it, heard it on the radio, and I got calls from people. It does make you feel insane. No, I mean, they show a photo of me and the police from last year, and they said I was arrested there. Then they added I was drunk. The police got me because I was drunk. Then they feed back their own lies and run up and go, aha, you're drinking. It's like little kids imagining that you know, they're superheroes, or imagining they've defeated you. Like when you're 3 years old, imagining you can jump off the porch and defeat Superman or whatever because you're Lex Luthor. I mean, it's just total fantasy land of a bunch of Arrested Development loons living in another world. I was trying, like all the women and children you beat up, to get into the inauguration. And you were there admittedly putting out flyers saying we're going to block people and block Trump getting in, Trump supporters, and that's indeed what you did. And then you turned that around to the opposite, that we were attacking women or that we got arrested. And they just live in a total fantasy land where they tell the lies, but like 1984, as soon as they've issued them from their mouth, they then defend them and believe them. Let me tell you, it is very bizarre to see CNN still saying Sean Spicer is wrong, Trump is wrong, and that those are real photos of the inauguration. I was there. The crowd went all the way back to the monument where it was blocked off, and it was spilling out, and hundreds of thousands couldn't get in because they were blocking the damn entrances. Excuse me, Lord. I mean, I cannot take this anymore. I was there. You are liars. 2 + 2 = 4. 2 + 2 = 4. And I know That's the truth. You people are mentally ill. And I don't even hate these people. I don't hate that weird, crazy person flopping around the street. That is a victim. What has happened to our people? It's like that HBO special I saw like 8, 9 years ago. I forget the name of it. And this guy's put cigarettes out on her, beating her, making her have sex with 20 guys a day. And he's been hit, run over by a car. And the pimp's in there going, you better get up, hurry on the street. She's like, baby, I'm sorry, baby. I'm going to get back on that street. I'm going to do it for you. He's like, you better get back on that street. And her mother's there. Nice church lady, nice black church lady. And she's like, what have you done to my baby? You have brainwashed her. She's like, get out of here, mama. He's a good man. He'll take care of me. I mean, it's like these people are pimped and broken, and they've got weird Islamicists laughing at me with women putting hijabs on, going, you're evil, you hurt women, you're a white male, we hate America. This is where you got the freedom, you dumbasses. God almighty. I mean, whoa. Whoa. Let's play the Allah Akbar piece. This is women at the Women's March, German women. Hell, they got public service announcements by the UN in Germany telling women, wear the hijab and give yourselves to Islam. Who could make that cultural suicide up? I mean, this is wild. Our enemy is so twisted, so evil, and there's not even any discussing it. I mean, they knew. I just can't believe we're facing this level of evil. You know, the Bible talks about evil people having a spirit wanting to be destroyed, wanting to be lied to, wanting to see righteousness fall. And that's it. There are people like tune into like this mental illness brainwave of just flopping around and foaming and being idiots with all these weird, creepy people with like dog-style haircuts, you know, that like clown haircuts like David Brock, who just puts out idiotic nonsense and then these minions take it and just repeat it. David Brock could go out on the street in front of these women and you know, pull a cork out of his rear end and put 50 pounds of feces on the ground and tell those women that it was pumpkin pie, and they'd get down on their knees and eat it. And I don't mean that to be gross, man. Sometimes you got to have gross analogies because it is gross. The lies they're putting out are gross. They're disgusting. And it's weird. And I don't know how we've had little scumbags like this dictating to us for so long. I mean, thank God there's a global overthrow of these sycophant demons. And I want everyone to redouble their efforts. He thinks he's going to overthrow Trump and America and the rebirth of this. Buddy, we're going to overthrow you. And you think you and your minions and all your people and has-beens like Madonna. Skip this break. You think you can talk about doing violence to us and get away with it. You got another thing coming. And I just know how the ether works. There's spiritual spider webs throughout the universe, and they're tripwires. And I think you hit some big wires. I think the left's hit some big wires, and some big spiritual things you haven't messed with or ever imagined are coming up. Because that's what God does. God goes, oh, you want to be evil? You want to act like you're big, powerful, and evil? Here, just release that door over there. Release the Kraken. And the door goes, and out comes what you're looking for. I put peace out there. I wish health and longevity to Obama and Michelle, and I wish long life for you, my friend, and Madonna. In fact, we should pray for David Brock and Hillary and Obama and all of them. Just pray that if there's any life in them and any humanity,